Most people think fatty liver only happens to those who drink alcohol, but that's a myth. Today, 1 in every 3 adults silently lives with fatty liver disease, often without a single drink in their system. It's becoming one of the fastest growing health problems in the world, quietly developing behind normal lab results and busy routines. The liver is your body's powerhouse. It converts food into energy, filters toxins, balances hormones, and keeps blood sugar stable. But when it becomes overloaded with fat, everything else begins to fall apart. Here's what's even more surprising: fatty liver doesn't start in the liver. It begins in the gut. An unhealthy gut allows toxins, sugar, and inflammatory molecules to leak into the bloodstream, flooding the liver and causing fat to build up inside its cells. Over time, this same process triggers insulin resistance and damages your heart's arteries. The gut, the liver, and the heart, 3 organs, one shared pathway of inflammation. You might already feel the early signs: low energy after meals, constant bloating, brain fog, stubborn belly fat, or lab results showing slightly elevated liver enzymes. The good news is, your liver isn't damaged beyond repair. It's one of the most forgiving organs in the human body. With the right foods, fasting rhythm, and gut healing approach, it can regenerate completely. Have you ever been told your liver numbers were high? Share below. We're going to fix this together. It always starts quietly, not in your liver, but deep within your gut. Inside your digestive tract lives an entire ecosystem of trillions of bacteria, known as your microbiome. These microbes are supposed to protect you. They help digest food, balance blood sugar, regulate immunity, and even send messages to your liver. But when this balance is disrupted through processed food, antibiotics, stress, or lack of fiber, the gut lining becomes weak and porous, allowing harmful substances to leak into the bloodstream. This condition, known as leaky gut, is one of the first sparks that ignite fatty liver disease. When the gut barrier weakens, bacterial toxins and undigested food particles pass directly into circulation. The liver, being your body's main detox center, tries to clean up this mess. But over time, it becomes overwhelmed. Imagine your liver as a filter that never gets rinsed. It starts to clog. Every sugar spike, every serving of refined flour, and every sip of fructose, heavy soda adds another layer of fat inside liver cells. This process doesn't happen overnight. It builds silently as the liver stores more and more fat in an attempt to protect itself from inflammation. And this is where insulin resistance steps in. Constant exposure to high blood sugar forces the pancreas to release more insulin, pushing cells to store excess glucose as fat. But liver cells eventually stop responding to insulin's signal, meaning sugar stays in the blood while fat accumulates inside the liver. This creates a vicious cycle. The fattier the liver becomes, the more insulin resistant it gets, which then drives more fat storage. Here's the part that surprises most people: fatty liver isn't just a condition of the overweight. I once saw a patient named Sarah, a 38-year-old yoga instructor with a healthy BMI, active lifestyle, and clean eating habits. She came in complaining of fatigue, bloating, and occasional nausea. Her blood tests showed mildly elevated liver enzymes. We ran an ultrasound, and there it was: fatty liver. She didn't drink alcohol, didn't eat junk food daily, and yet her liver was burdened with fat. The culprit wasn't calories, it was her gut. Sarah had been struggling with digestive issues for years, frequently bloated after meals, and relying on protein bars loaded with fructose syrup. When we ran a stool test, her gut bacteria were severely imbalanced. The beneficial strains were low, and the inflammatory ones were high. Once she began focusing on gut repair, introducing fiber from vegetables, fermented foods like kimchi and kefir, and practicing intermittent fasting, her symptoms began to fade. Within 3 months, her liver enzymes normalized. By 6 months, her ultrasound showed complete reversal of fatty liver. Her story is proof that healing the liver isn't about cutting calories. It's about rebalancing the gut ecosystem that feeds it. Science now confirms what stories like Sarah's reveal. Certain gut bacteria produce endotoxins that travel through the portal vein directly to the liver, triggering inflammation and fat accumulation. But when you restore your gut microbiome by eating plant-based fibers, resistant starches, and fermented foods, those harmful bacteria decline. The gut barrier strengthens, toxins stop leaking, and inflammation begins to drop. This allows the liver to finally do what it's designed to do: process fat efficiently and repair itself. Fasting also plays a vital role. When you give your digestive system a break, your gut bacteria shift toward balance, insulin levels drop, and the liver gets a window to detox and regenerate. Even a simple 12 to 14-hour overnight fast can reduce liver fat by improving metabolic flexibility. Pair that with hydration, sleep, and gentle movement after meals, and the entire system begins to realign naturally. The truth is, there's no magic pill or supplement that can fix fatty liver. You can't medicate your way out of something that started with lifestyle imbalance. It begins where everything begins. In the gut. Heal the gut, and the liver follows. Every bite of real food, every night of restful sleep, every moment of stress reduction sends a signal of safety to your body. That's when your liver stops storing fat and starts burning it again. Healing starts in the gut, not the medicine cabinet. Fatty liver disease is called silent for a reason. Most people have no idea it's developing until their doctor happens to mention slightly elevated liver enzymes. Or worse, until an ultrasound reveals fat accumulation they never knew existed. The truth is, the liver doesn't complain until it's deeply inflamed. It has no pain receptors, so damage builds quietly over time, often masked by fatigue, bloating, or mild discomfort that people dismiss as normal. That's why learning how to recognize the signs and interpret your test results can make all the difference between early recovery and long-term complications. The most common starting point is a simple blood test. Your doctor may check 3 key enzymes: ALTs, alanine aminotransferase, ASTC, aspartate aminotransferase, and GGTs, gamma-glutamyl transferase. These enzymes rise when liver cells are stressed or inflamed. Ideally, LT should stay under 25 for women and under 35 for men, but many labs mark anything under 45 as normal. The problem is, those normal ranges are based on population averages, and in today's world, most people already have some degree of fatty liver. So when your doctor says, it's fine, it may just mean you're normal among unhealthy people. AST and ALT ratios also tell a story. In early fatty liver, ALT tends to be slightly higher than AST. When the ratio reverses, meaning AST is higher, it can signal advanced fibrosis or alcoholic liver injury. GGT is another overlooked marker. Elevated GGT often reflects oxidative stress and toxin overload, even before fat appears on imaging. So if your ALT and GGT are both above the optimal range, it's time to pay attention. Beyond blood work, the ultrasound is the most common imaging tool for detecting fatty liver. It's painless, inexpensive, and quick. On ultrasound, the liver of someone with fat buildup appears brighter. Doctors call this increased echogenicity. But mild fatty liver can still go unnoticed if the technician isn't specifically looking for it. Some patients are told everything looks fine when in reality, 10–20% of their liver cells are already filled with fat. For more precise measurement, a fibroscan, a special ultrasound that measures liver stiffness, can detect fat and fibrosis long before symptoms appear. It's one of the best ways to track progress during healing. It's also important to understand the 2 main types of fatty liver disease. As alcoholic fatty liver disease, AFLD results from regular or heavy alcohol consumption, which directly damages liver cells. As non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, an AFLD, however, has nothing to do with drinking. It's caused by poor diet, insulin resistance, gut dysbiosis, and inflammation. NAFLD now affects even teenagers and thin adults, proving it's not just a weight issue. It's a metabolic one. Both conditions can progress to NASH and non-alcoholic steatohepatitis, where fat leads to scarring and eventually cirrhosis if ignored. Sometimes the body gives clues before tests do. Fatigue after meals, constant brain fog, trouble losing weight despite effort, all point to impaired liver metabolism. A subtle but powerful visual sign is your waistline. If your waist size is growing faster than your weight, your liver may already be stressed. This belly fat isn't just under the skin. It's often a reflection of fat stored inside and around the liver, because the liver is involved in over 500 essential functions, from hormone regulation to cholesterol metabolism. Even slight dysfunction can ripple throughout the body. High triglycerides, low HDL cholesterol, or fasting glucose creeping above 95 mg/dl often indicate underlying liver stress. These numbers matter because they reflect metabolic patterns linked to fatty liver development. Yet many physicians still overlook them until they reach extremes. The tragedy is that most people only discover fatty liver when it's already advanced. But here's the encouraging truth: when caught early, it's entirely reversible. The liver is remarkably resilient. Its cells can regenerate fully within months once the underlying causes are removed. By understanding your test results, asking the right questions, and taking action through nutrition and lifestyle, you can stop this disease long before it becomes dangerous. The key is awareness. Every step toward early detection brings you closer to full recovery and a stronger, more vibrant life. Most people don't realize that the liver can fully repair itself, but only when given the right nutrition. Every bite you take either feeds inflammation or fuels regeneration. The process begins by choosing foods that support detoxification and reduce fat buildup in the liver. Cruciferous vegetables like broccoli, cauliflower, and Brussels sprouts activate enzymes that help clear toxins. Leafy greens like spinach and kale supply chlorophyll and magnesium that calm inflammation. Fatty fish such as salmon and sardines deliver omega-3s that fight triglyceride buildup. Olive oil and avocado provide healthy fats that keep insulin levels stable, while fermented foods like sauerkraut and kefir replenish the gut with friendly bacteria, the very microbes that send anti-inflammatory signals to the liver. On the other hand, certain foods quietly damage the liver every day. Fructose found in sodas, juices, and even healthy smoothies converts directly into liver fat. Seed oils like corn, soybean, and canola oil generate oxidative stress that scars liver tissue. Refined carbs, white bread, pastries, pasta, spike blood sugar, leading to insulin resistance and more fat storage. Processed meats and alcohol double the burden by releasing toxins that the liver must constantly neutralize. When these foods dominate your plate, your liver never gets the chance to recover. Time-restricted eating, such as eating within an 8 to 10 hour window, gives your liver rest from insulin spikes. During fasting hours, the liver switches from storing fat to burning it. This metabolic switch, called autophagy, allows damaged liver cells to be replaced with healthy ones. It's not about deprivation, it's about rhythm. The liver thrives on structure. Here's how this looks in real life. Morning: skip sugary cereals. Start with eggs cooked in olive oil with sautéed spinach and half an avocado. Lunch: swap processed sandwiches for a salad with mixed greens, grilled salmon, and olive oil dressing. Dinner: replace fried foods with baked vegetables, fermented pickles, and a serving of chicken or tofu. These swaps may seem small, but they teach your liver to trust you again. Every real, unprocessed meal lowers inflammation, balances blood sugar, and melts fat from liver cells. You don't need extreme diets or endless pills. Your liver doesn't need more supplements. It needs less sugar and more real food. When people think about heart disease, they picture blocked arteries and high cholesterol. But what if the story starts much earlier? Not in the heart, but in the gut. Inside your digestive system lives a delicate ecosystem that affects everything from your mood to your metabolism. When that system falls out of balance, the consequences ripple through the body. An unhealthy gut doesn't just cause bloating or indigestion, it sets off a chain reaction that can ultimately damage your liver and your heart. When your gut leaks, your liver soaks, and your heart breaks. Here's how it happens. The gut is meant to act like a strong gatekeeper, allowing nutrients to enter the bloodstream while keeping toxins, undigested food particles, and bacterial waste inside the intestines. But when we feed it a diet high in sugar, refined oils, and processed foods, that barrier weakens. This condition, often called leaky gut, allows harmful molecules known as endotoxins to pass into the blood. The first organ they reach is the liver. The liver's job is to filter everything that enters your bloodstream from the gut. When it becomes overloaded with these toxins day after day, it mounts an inflammatory response. That inflammation, combined with high insulin levels and sugar spikes, causes fat to accumulate inside liver cells. Over time, this fat buildup leads to non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, NAFLD, which now affects nearly 1 in 3 adults worldwide. But the story doesn't stop there, because the liver and the heart share the same highway of circulation. When the liver becomes fatty and inflamed, it can no longer manage fats and sugars efficiently. Triglycerides rise, HDL cholesterol drops, and small dense LDL particles, the ones most likely to form plaques, begin to circulate. The same toxins and inflammatory signals that began in the gut now travel through the bloodstream, irritating the lining of your arteries. This process slowly transforms smooth, flexible vessels into hardened, narrow passageways. That's how gut imbalance and fatty liver silently set the stage for coronary artery disease. Research continues to confirm this gut-liver-heart axis. Studies show that people with fatty liver are far more likely to have heart attacks, even if their cholesterol numbers appear normal. Others reveal that certain gut bacteria can convert nutrients like choline and carnitine into compounds that promote arterial plaque. It's no coincidence that improving gut health often lowers both liver fat and cardiovascular risk at the same time. These organs are not separate systems. They're one continuous network of metabolic communication. The good news is, once you understand the pathway, you can reverse it. You don't need drastic measures. You need alignment. Start by feeding your gut the right way. Every fiber-rich vegetable you eat feeds the good bacteria that protect your intestinal barrier. Fermented foods like sauerkraut, yogurt, and kefir introduce probiotics that crowd out harmful species. Avoiding refined carbs and sugary drinks reduces endotoxin production. When your gut is balanced, your liver's workload lightens and your arteries stay calm. Movement is another underrated medicine. Walking for just 10 to 15 minutes after meals helps regulate blood sugar and reduce fat buildup in the liver. Consistent physical activity improves circulation, encourages detoxification, and strengthens the heart. Sleep is equally powerful. During deep rest, your body clears metabolic waste and reduces inflammation. Poor sleep, on the other hand, raises cortisol and worsens insulin resistance. Two major triggers of fatty liver. Hydration also matters. Water helps flush out toxins, supports digestion, and keeps blood less viscous, easing the heart's burden. It's easy to feel discouraged if you've been told you have high cholesterol or fatty liver. But you're not broken, your system just needs alignment. Your gut, liver, and heart are designed to work in harmony. They simply respond to the inputs you give them. Every meal, every step, every night of rest is a chance to restore that connection. Imagine your gut as the foundation, your liver as the processor, and your heart as the distributor. When one weakens, the others suffer. But when one heals, all three begin to thrive again. Healing this trio isn't about restriction or perfection, it's about rhythm. Nourish your gut, support your liver, move your body, and let your heart follow. What starts as small daily habits, real food, good sleep, steady hydration, and mindful movement, creates a cascade of healing that no pill can replicate. The pathway that once led from gut imbalance to heart disease can now lead you back to energy, clarity, and balance. The system was never against you. It was waiting for you to bring it back into harmony. The liver is extraordinary. It's the only organ in the human body that can fully regenerate itself, even if up to 70% of it is damaged. That means every cell you nourish, every toxin you remove, every healthy meal you eat contributes to actual tissue repair. This is not wishful thinking, it's biology. Within just 3 to 6 months of consistent lifestyle change, liver fat can melt away, inflammation can subside, and energy can return like sunlight breaking through after a storm. One of my patients, a 52-year-old man named Daniel, came to me after a routine blood test revealed elevated liver enzymes and early signs of fatty liver. He didn't drink, but he had spent years living on late night snacks, takeout meals, and little sleep. His first reaction was panic. He thought liver disease meant a lifetime of medication. But we took a different path. Daniel began with small steps, cutting sugar, walking after meals, and adopting a 14-hour overnight fasting window. At first it was hard. He craved late-night food and struggled with energy dips. But within 6 weeks, his sleep improved. By the 3rd month, his belly started shrinking. After 6 months, his ultrasound showed no visible fat in his liver. His enzyme levels returned to normal, and his doctor was amazed. Daniel's success wasn't the result of perfection. It was the reward for consistency. Then there was Maya, a 44-year-old mother who came to me feeling exhausted, mentally foggy, and constantly bloated. Her blood work showed elevated ALT and GGT levels despite her moderate weight. She believed she was doing everything right, eating low-fat foods, drinking green juices, and exercising daily. But her diet was missing the very nutrients her liver needed: healthy fats, proteins, and fermented foods for gut repair. We rebuilt her plan around real, whole foods, avocados, olive oil, eggs, vegetables, and probiotic yogurt, while removing refined carbs and sugary snacks. She practiced gentle intermittent fasting 3 days a week and added evening walks to help regulate blood sugar. In 4 months, her energy returned, the brain fog lifted, her liver enzymes normalized, and she began sleeping deeply for the first time in years. These stories are living proof that your liver is not broken. It's resilient. It doesn't need more punishment or restriction. It needs rhythm, nourishment, and rest. Healing the liver follows a simple but powerful roadmap. Start with Ava's gut reset, because no liver can heal if the gut keeps leaking toxins. That means adding fiber, fermented foods, and plenty of hydration. Next, follow Anna's anti-inflammatory diet. Remove processed foods, seed oils, and added sugars. Replace them with whole, colorful plants, omega-3 fats, and clean protein. Then practice a gentle fasting. You don't need extreme routines. Even a 12-hour overnight fast gives your body time to burn fat and clear toxins. Finally, monitor your progress. Regular checkups, lab tests, and ultrasounds will show you just how much your liver can change when given the chance. Consistency is what matters most. You don't need to do it perfectly, just persistently. Your liver heals in silence. It doesn't demand attention, only patience. Every healthy meal is a message of repair, every fast is a reset button, and every night of good sleep is a gift to your metabolism. If you fall off track, simply begin again the next day. The body doesn't hold grudges, it responds to what you do most of the time, not what you do once in a while. The transformation is both physical and emotional. When your liver heals, your energy stabilizes, your mind clears, your mood lifts, and your body feels lighter. Not just in weight, but in vitality. It's as if your inner system begins to trust you again. That's the beauty of working with your biology instead of against it. Your liver isn't angry, it's asking you to listen. Start today, and it will thank you for the rest of your life. Subscribe for more doctor-led guides on reversing chronic conditions naturally. And share your progress in the comments below.